Chapter 10. 10. And yet, it was still insufficient to withstand the power of the dimensional arrow. There was, however, a price Wilbur had to pay for such a tremendous attack. He was now drained of spiritual energy that he had actually reserved specifically to activate the dimensional arrow. Even Wilbur's physical strength was half taken out. He looked at the crystal sternum briefly, before tossing it into his demiplane. He would get back to that later. Just then, Milo and the others finally crawled to their feet shakily as they stared at Wilbur in terror. Rinchen's power had nearly scared them to death. Wilbur had been able to kill him. His power was on another level. Wilbur glanced at the crowd before slowly coming up to Basin. Basin was barely alive then, staring at Wilbur as he trembled with terror and dread. He had seen Wilbur beat Rinchen with his own eyes, and Wilbur's power had completely shocked him. Wilbur smiled at Basin. "You really showed me today that people will be willing to stoop to any extent for survival." Basin spat out a mouthful of blood, lowering his head bitterly. "Oh, you greedy bastard. I could understand you going after the legendary power of your ancestor, and that's fine. But going after my possessions and having the ghost statues and Deathlord kill me? That pissed me off a little. What right do you have to go after what belongs to me, huh?" Wilbur said coldly. Basin looked nothing but terrified. "Please, sir, I made a mistake. Please forgive me. I'll follow you for the rest of my life and swear my loyalty to you." "I don't need that. What good could come from having a piece of garbage like you around me?" Wilbur asked. Basin stared at Wilbur in terror, his eyes flashing with desperation. He wanted to live, no matter what it took. Yet Wilbur put his foot on Basin's chest, devoid of any emotion. "I don't need someone willing to sacrifice his own son just to live, and honestly, neither does the world." "No, please, please, sir, no!" Basin screamed with all his might, his voice laced with deep terror. Yet Wilbur's foot slowly lowered itself with tremendous power, crushing Basin's chest in a matter of seconds. Basin's organs sprayed in all directions as he lay on the ground limply. Wilbur sneered coldly, turning back to look at the rest of Basin's tribe. The tribe members' chests lurched, falling to their knees on the ground trembling. The people Milo had described as terrifying and not to be messed with were now cowering from Wilbur with none of the pride or ego from before. Ryder walked over then. "Sir, could you not scare me like this that next time?" "You say it like I wanted to do that," Wilbur said dryly, glaring at him. Ryder sighed. Wilbur patted him on the shoulder with a smile. "That was some courage, though. Really impressive." "It's my duty," Ryder said, scowling. Wilbur shook his head. "You'd be perfect in every sense if you just learned to have a little more fun." Ryder said nothing. Just then, Milo made his way over shakily. He looked at Wilbur as if hesitating to say something. "Just spit it out," said Wilbur. Milo gulped. He rearranged his thoughts, stuttering. "Mr. Penn, I know you're incredibly powerful and you just helped us solve a huge problem. But the crystal sternum, that belongs to the Emerald Province. Please hand it over now, we need it for research." "Well, I hate to break it to you like this, but that's going to the Department of Paranormal Research and Defense. It doesn't belong to you anymore," said Wilbur coldly. Milo said, "No, that won't do. We found this. You have to hand it to us." "And what if I don't want to?" Wilbur asked, his voice dark. Milo was visibly trembling, but still straightened his chest. "You'll have to kill me then. That skeleton has to go to us." Wilbur fixed Milo with a stare. Milo trembled even harder now, but stood his ground. "Rules are rules. This is an artifact that belongs to the Emerald Province." "Yes, this belongs to Emerald Province. You have to hand it over." A girl in her 20s walked forward from Emerald Province Cultural Relics Department, standing next to Milo and across from Wilbur with her head held high.